Hi, my name is Steven Lursen from StevenLursen.com. I'm an artist and instructor, and this is my Find Out Friday. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, let's go ahead and check out what Donna has sent me for Find Out Friday. Oh wow. It's like rusty wire. I know we're going to be doing something in 3D. Have a Pam Carricker Stencil Girl 9x12 stencil. A stamp that says the greatest pleasure in life is doing what others say you cannot. That's cool. And one Liquitex paint marker, professional. That is a big tip. Awesome. All right, so I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I do have this simple 11x14 canvas panel here. So I have a blank canvas, and I'm going to go ahead and get to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do, inspired by this stencil, so what this stencil is it is an abstract doorway to a heart hanging from a tree branch through the doorway. I'll take that inspiration of seeing through a doorway, and I think I'm going to make one of my abstract backgrounds that I've done recently. So I'm going to lay down just some water. Treat this blank canvas as if it were a watercolor paper. And a little while ago I picked up some of these Liquitex inks. I think they're fun to work with. So I have Cerulean Blue and Quinacridone Magenta. Just going to kind of pour those, roll it into one another. So another thing that color I really like is Golden Brand Paynes Gray. Just going to drop a few drops. So I'm going to let this dry and come back to it with the subsequent layers. I was getting impatient with how it was taking a while to dry, so I just broke out a blow dryer and started hitting it with the blow dryer, and immediately I started seeing all the puddles move around, and I thought it was fantastic, so I kept rotating it and changing the angle of the blow dryer, and it ended up creating a lot of really cool marks. So now we're going to move on to the next stage. For me, I think that let's go ahead and figure out where this doorway is going to be. Maybe we'll just go with that. So I'd like to use some white paint because I use so much. I just keep it in bulk. Let's see. So I want to dry my brush because if you want to get really crisp, clear imagery, like if I wanted all those little specks to stay exactly the same, I would need to use a paste, like a light molding paste or something similar. But since I really am just wanting to get some of the abstract qualities. Oh, I didn't dry my brush, so it would bleed significantly if it's wet. Squeegee my bristles out. Okay, that's better. Just want to get the shape, get the overall shape, because I'm going to be adding a lot to this. And I think it's really cool whenever you're able to take the inspiration of a thing and then make it your own. Alright, so now we have the effect of the doorway that I am going to embellish. Just using some white paint. Going to disguise or mask over the majority of this outline of the white, of the outline of the color. because I want it to really look like it's deep in the background, not in the foreground. So I'm back. I've added a number of yellows, yellow-orange, and a variety of other warm colors. Gotta do my tribute to Van Gogh, one of my favorites. Now I love fluorescents and fluorescent paint, but they fade so much. Like the yellow I'm currently using, and I'm not cleaning my paintbrush because I like when the colors swirl together. So I'm using a little bit of fluorescent yellow, but the sad thing is that after it dries, it's not as fluorescent, which I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. The thing about adding layers is that every time you add a layer, even if it's just a layer of dots, it pushes the layers that you already laid down. It pushes those other layers back in space, so it creates more depth. One of the benefits of not cleaning your brush is that when you layer different colors on your brush and they overlap, you get swirls. The key there is to maintain the integrity, so that mark there that has a swirl of pink and yellow in it, I'm not going to continue to move the brush continually, but over and over and over that same mark, because then it blends it to the point where it's homogeneous. And whenever it's all the same, you lose your unique qualities of each individual mark. So let a mark be and don't go back to it. So for larger marks down here, I need to move to a slightly larger brush. Canvas is dry all the way. I'm going to break out this awesome large tip Liquitex paint marker. Now I will be using this in addition to the small project. I would generally use something this large on a larger surface, larger canvas. But we'll see how it works on a smaller one as well. So you have to shake it really well, and then whenever it was brand new, I haven't primed it quite enough. You just hold it down, depress, and now it's flowing very well with some deep Prussian blue hue. I'm just gonna use it to create some more energy, some patterns. And if I want really big marks, I can go sideways. Variety is the spice of life. Now the purpose in doing that is to create a wider range of marks. Different tools you use will create different marks. So if you use a larger brush, that'll create one size all the way down to the tiniest brush with a few hairs. That's going to create a much smaller mark. And you can also use other items to create marks, be it sticks you find in the yard or palette knives. You can turn a palette knife on its blade on the edge and create super fine lines, or just smudge the paint like we've all seen done many times before. So I've been able to use that Liquitex paint marker, and now I'm going to break it out the white paint and edit some of this bright color back. The reason that I'm putting white again is because it adds mystery whenever you layer the background color back over the foreground color. The reason it creates mystery is because whenever you can see the white, or any real background color for that matter, when you see the background overlapping the foreground, it's not so easy to figure out how it was done, especially if you have some of these overlaps like this. Then in some places it looks like one color sitting on top of the other, but in others it looks like the other color sitting on top of the other. So it's interesting, or more interesting, when someone is looking at it and they can't just by observation determine exactly how it was made. And layers, and layering layers really go a long ways at helping create a more interesting and mysterious surface.